We are a small charity. We operate here in Liverpool, and we offer one-to-one talking therapy for men who are in a suicidal crisis. We know that people reporting distress has gone up. I think that there are surveys that are indicating that people who are trying to access help with mental health problems more than they were before the pandemic. What we found towards the end, towards sort of July, August, September, October last year, and it's continued, is that kind of the score of people coming into our service is higher. So we think that something is happening. By the time men get to us, they're probably experiencing perhaps more significant mental health symptoms and higher levels of distress. But those are small figures, but it seems to be what other people in other places where they work with people in suicidal crisis are saying.
So surely people must be thinking there must be plans in place to think, right, this is going to be a problem. We need to sort this.
I think most people who work in the field would predict that the problems would actually come once lockdown is finished. A lot of people assume that more people die in the winter. Actually, more people take their life in the kind of spring and summer. It seems to be there's something about a kind of, we're all going through a tough time. Everybody hates the winter. And then as everybody else life seems to be getting better, because it gets better in the spring and summer, you're stuck still in this terrible space. And that's when you feel actually everybody else isn't feeling as bad as me now. So as we all move out of lockdown and kind of back to sort of normal, certainly my concern is that the people who were already struggling before will be even in a worse situation.
It's a year since Caroline Flack took her own life. A lot of people talking about suicide after that. We had this big Be Kind campaign.
I think it makes people reflect on how they behave, and they reflect on how perhaps they've dealt with people in their own lives. It perhaps highlighted to people that somebody's life can look pretty great, and they can say, well, she was rich, she had all these things going for her. Why did she let it get to her? Why did she, how could that have been something that she wanted? She felt death was better than dealing with it. You don't know what's happening to people. From the outside, the problem might look surmountable, but when you're in it, clearly she got to a place where her own death felt preferable to dealing with this kind of maelstrom that she was living in. And I think that when you hear about somebody like her, it gives all of us a chance to think, how would we want to talk to somebody who we were concerned about? I think in Caroline's case, there were friends around who were concerned that she was a risk of suicide. But perhaps it might give all of us a bit of confidence to ask our own friends, if somebody like that can do it and you're struggling, actually, are you worried about yourself? Are you worried that you're going to act on those thoughts?
We've got to say, haven't we, and it's something that we see a lot, but it's so true, and you can tell us more about this. There is literally always another option, isn't there? There's always another alternative, and there's always support out there. How many men have you helped so far, and how many do you help in a week, for instance? Give us a kind of snapshot of the great work.
We've got some 24 guys who are accessing our support at the moment, and since we started in July 2018, we've had more than 400 men come through over that time, and we've had I can say, in a way that sometimes makes me tear up a bit, these men have saved their own lives, really. They've come and let us help them, and they sort of come back and tell us what it's meant to them. And it is quite amazing. If you're thinking of donating to James's Place, you will be donating to a charity that saves lives. That we know that the impact we have on the men who come here and on their families, changes their lives for the better, and in some cases, means that we've not got families in Liverpool right now who are sitting around talking about their dead father or their dead husband or their dead brother, and they, the men themselves would tell you that that's the case.